Folks, fake nerds. Why do they persist in pretending they're nerds? It didn't used to be cool to be a nerd. That's why there were cool kids and nerds. And then in the last few years, the terminology, the concept of being a nerd took on the qualities of being cool. So what did the cool kids do? They pretended they were nerds. No. You're offending real nerds. But if you're one of the cool kids in high school and now you're pretending to be a nerd, or if you're a cool kid in high school now and you're pretending to be a nerd, that's even worse. If you were captain of the baseball team, if you were on the student council, evidencing some personality, some social skills, you weren't a nerd. If you went to your high school prom with another person and not in a big group, you're not a nerd. If you have ever been told by one of your date's parents that they look forward to seeing you again, you're not a nerd. If you've been told by your date's parents that they never want to see you again, you're not a nerd. If you had any job that had anything to do with being a lifeguard, saving people, or with any athleticism of any kind, you're not a nerd. We all know the typical nerd characteristics, the stereotypical nerd characteristics. And by a cool kid, or former cool kid, or current cool kid, or current cool adult, putting on nerd glasses doesn't make you a nerd. Or you have to have depth as a nerd. You have to understand things that normal people don't. You have to have a working knowledge of, certainly of Star Wars, possibly Star Trek, depending on your age. And that's just the beginning. I mean, you can go into Doctor Who. There's a whole range of qualities and concepts and knowledge that you have to be a nerd. It's kind of like people that want to look cool in any capacity. People that take up golf, and all of a sudden they're wearing golf cleats at the local tournament. You go to the local PGA tournament in town, and there's people wearing golf cleats. No, you don't need to wear your golf shoes at the PGA tournament, unless you plan to climb under the rope and get out there and hit a few shots until you're carted away by the local authorities. You're not a professional golfer. You don't need to dress like a professional golfer at the tournament. It's okay to be the lousy golfer you are and sit in the stands. Why do people insist on taking on the characteristics of something they're clearly not? It's okay to express yourself, especially in LA. Come on. That's all they do is express themselves around here. But if you're not a nerd, you don't need to dress like a nerd. You don't need to pretend you're a nerd. Believe it or not, this is hard to believe, but you will be accepted as you are. You will be accepted by society. Trust me on this. You don't have to worry. You don't have to pretend to be a nerd. You will be accepted by society as the successful former quarterback, good-looking model, or international playboy bunny that you are. You don't need to worry. Just relax. If you're a woman with stunning good looks, you don't need to worry. Just relax. I know it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that you would get special treatment, but you will. So you don't need to pretend to be a nerd. That's all I have for now. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. What's that? Was I a nerd? Oh, you mean in high school? I was in between nerd and geek, and sort of edging toward dork. Yeah, right in there. That was me.